Hi there, it's Larry Lursey. Welcome back to the channel. Today's tutorial is going to be on retouching eyes. Now, retouching is one of those things in Photoshop that you can spend hours doing, but I'm just going to show you how to do a very basic one that's really quick and can definitely make your portraits look nicer without putting a ton of time into it. And let's just jump right in. First thing we're going to do, we're going to basically work on two different areas in this image. One is we're going to work on these dark areas under the eye, and then we're going to work on making the eye just a little more luminosity to it and play with the highlights just a bit. So those are the two things we're going to do. We're going to start with the dark areas under the eye. All we're going to do here is make a copy of this layer, and we'll go ahead and call this eye, just so we know what we're doing. Then what we want to do is you want to come over here to the clone stamp tool, or you can just hit S. Go up here and change your mode to lighten if it's not already there, and your opacity somewhere in the 34-35 range. Flow is at 100. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a brush. I'm using my brackets to make the brushes larger and smaller, but I want a brush size about the size of the area that I'm getting ready to work on. So don't want a teeny tiny brush or a huge one, that won't work. It's got to be about that size just as a guideline. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Option and click right here and then swipe across. Do it again, swipe across and go over here, swipe. Could even, if you want to attack this area like that. So you'll notice that I've still left some darkness under the eyes, because if you take it completely away, it starts looking really weird. In fact, you probably could bring a tiny bit back from what we did. And that's why we do it on its own layer here, is I can just drop this opacity down until I bring a little bit more back. There you go. So again, we've still got darkness under the eye, but you can see much lighter than it really was. But we haven't lost all that form under there, and that's what will happen if you do too much of this, is you'll make that go away and it won't look like them. So you want to make sure you always leave a little bit there. So that's how that works. Next thing we're going to do is work on the eyes up here, and we're going to do them on a gray layer. So I did a video on how to do dodging and burning on a gray layer, and I'll put a link to that here on the screen. But for now, let's just go ahead and run through it pretty quickly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to Layer, New Layer, and then what we will do is we will change this to Soft Light, fill with neutral, and we're going to name this I2, so it's something different. Then all we're going to do is basically take the Dodge tool right here, O, and I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to do some little crescent shapes, just 2 or 3 times along here, and then in the center a little bit more. Same thing over here, maybe about 3 times, and then a little more in the center. And what that's going to do is really give a little more shape to the eye. We've got the highlight on this side, and so we want to have the reflection down on this side. If you see the before, there's the before and after. It definitely makes the eyes jump out a little bit and gives them a lot more luminosity. And again, we've got it on its own layer here. So if we decide we've gone too far, you can pull the opacity down a tiny bit. Something like that. That's like 96%. And there you go. So what you're looking at is, from the basic, we took away the darkness, added that highlight to the eye, and there you have it. Just takes you a minute or so to do that, and it really gives the eyes a lot of pop. And I definitely encourage you to do both of those on their own layer, because as you look at it, you may say, boy, I went too far, especially when you're first doing it. It takes a while to kind of get a feel for how much is too much. So make sure you do them on their own layers here, and then maybe come back, work on it, come look at it the next day and decide whether you've done too much, and just ease back the opacity if you need to. So there you go, 2 quick tricks to make eyes pop a little bit in your portraits, and I hope that helps. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.